St. John's Wood Square is only a 5-minute walk away from the ASL campus, and if you live in St. John's Wood, you might have noticed the cranes looming over the neighborhood. These cranes are an indicator of the construction currently underway. In a survey of about 70 student/faculty members, 47.1% have said that they have walked by the St. John's Wood Square construction.
Many times.
I don't typically walk that way. I haven't been there for a long time, but I do know of some construction that's happening.
In ASL, there is a significant portion of the student body that lives in St. John's Wood. Out of a survey with almost 70 students and faculty/staff participants, 32% answered that they live in that area.
Yes, I think it does.
I think there's some disruption always. And then typically with construction, there's noise. And so I think there's always a noise impact of some sort.
This construction, even after being around for a good 2 years, has quite a lot of uncertainty around it. Uncertainty about what it will be, what it was, and the actual timeline of the project. To clear some of this uncertainty, let's dive into the history of the construction site. Before construction, this area was home to the St. John's Wood Barracks, built in the 1800s. The barracks served as a home for the Royal Horse Artillery troops. The troops moved to Woolwich in 2012. Since then, all barracks on the construction site have been destroyed to make way for the new building. Up until now, the barracks were a reminder of St. John's Wood's military past. Because of this, the English Heritage Charity protested the building. The only historic site remaining is the riding school, which, according to the St. John's Wood Square site, is listed as a Grade 2 heritage site and is therefore protected from demolition.
I did. I visited them. I can see why they moved to Woolwich, but it was very special hearing the horses come by. In fact, we even went when they left in 2012. I was teaching 4th grade at the time, and we took my class over to the high street, and they all paraded down the high street, and we waved and said goodbye. And it was very emotional for everybody because they were really a part of the community and a part of the neighborhood.
Construction finally started in 2022, over a decade after first getting permission from the Westminster Council to build on site in 2011. In 2012, Malaysian billionaire Ananda Krishnan bought the site from the previous owner. While this may not be a well-known name in the UK, Malaysians are fairly familiar with the name. Let's explore who this site owner is and what his name means in Malaysia.
Yes, I know who Ananda Krishnan is. First and foremost, I know he's Malaysian. I think he owns a telecommunication company in Malaysia. I believe it's called Maxis. Maxis, like Vodafone, like O2, is a very big telecommunication company in Malaysia. Oh, of course, but that's towards the later part, when I was a teenager. Yes. Because that's when cell phones were getting very popular. Actually, yeah, after high school, coming back to Malaysia, yes. Malaysia is a former British colony. That's why you'll find a lot of Malaysian restaurants here, grocery stores selling Malaysian products, and even in non-Malaysian restaurants, you can find references to the food and all of that. So that's one. I also hear of construction companies having properties, developing properties here as well.
The ongoing construction has been a cause of some traffic on an otherwise quiet road. Out of almost 70 participants, 24% have had their commute to school delayed because of this.
So my commute isn't impacted anymore because I don't live in the St. John's Wood neighborhood. But I think that I can imagine people coming in or going out of the community. There's no way that construction isn't impacting the flow of traffic just because there's a lot of traffic in London. And if you make a switch or you make a change to something, it's going to have a domino effect to something else.
Not my commute, because I come from Wimbledon. But if I think about where I used to live on Wadham Gardens, which is just down the road from Queen's Grove, it would not have affected my commute, mainly because I walk to school. And so I think people who live locally and you have vehicles, yes, it could be tricky for getting in and out, but most of the people at ASL probably walk here anyway rather than taking their car. Yes, I've wondered about that. I mean, I think they said they're building 137, something like that, homes. I think that that's going to have a big impact on Queen's Grove. That little road that runs from Queen's Grove and goes around the corner by the yoga place, that called Queen's Terrace maybe, or something. Anyway, I think that's going to have a big impact. I think on the other side, I think that's a wider road and we'll be better able to accommodate more cars. So I'd like to think that they would they'd put more of the comings and goings from that side rather than the west side.
Effects of the finished construction is also unknown. The impacts could be beneficial or detrimental to local businesses. It is also unclear what the impact will be on ASL.
One of the things I like about the development is that they are offering social housing as a part of the development. Although how much social housing they'll have and so forth, you know, there's always a percentage they're supposed to have, but we'll see how that all works out. I think it's going to be quite a change for the neighborhood. I wonder if it might be a bit of a bonus for ASL and new people coming to ASL who, you know, might find it, maybe there might be more properties to rent or buy in the area because of the development. It's just a shame that so much of the development is going to be so expensive. They're putting 7 single-family homes down the Ordnance Road side. The other blocks, I think, are only going to be 6 stories high, but each apartment is going to be a whole floor. So they're going to be huge spaces. And of course, space is money in London.
Well, I know that there are a lot of people who can afford to live in the neighborhood close by. So my hope is that the properties that are there are affordable to anyone who wants to live in the neighborhood, and that it isn't just like high-end properties. Yeah, I think there's a shortage of housing, affordable housing in London in general, and it would be great if in St. John's Wood some of that housing would be a little more affordable.
It is unclear exactly when the construction will be finished, but eventually St. John's Wood Square will become residential buildings, a garden, as well as unspecified public spaces. There will be 117 private residences, 59 intermediate affordable residences, and 41 off-site residences in Marylebone. It will be interesting to see the tangible impacts of St. John's Wood Square once finished, but for now we can only speculate.